A wonderful day for all of us. My name is Ricalyn Babiera Gamora. You may call me Rika for short. I am a fourth year college student taking up Bachelor of Arts in English Language. I am also the representative from the College of Arts and Sciences of St. Michael College of Caraga. My fellow researchers are Miss Maude Hamero Mondragon and Miss Ashley Sheen Paratibo Reyes. Our study is entitled Linguistic Competence among the College of Teacher Education Students of St. Michael College of Caraga. SMCC or St. Michael College of Caraga is in the southern part of the Philippines, specifically in Nasipit. Nasipit is located at 8.7 degree north latitude, 126.29 degree east longitude, and 101 meters elevation above the sea level. According to JEA 2012, educators agreed on the proficiency in the English language, the basis for success in academic pursuit. Reading and writing are tasks based on language skills. It describes this as the interplay between everyday language skills. Every student's proficiency depends on their knowledge of the English language because vocabulary acquisition and assessment regarded as the key to the instruction of English as a second language. All language courses are enhancing each of our ability to speak and our linguistic competency within the chosen style. Balance of receptive, which is reading and listening, and productive skills developed through communicative categories and self study. A way to study a language and vary transferable skills is additionally as a part of the course. For non native speakers, it aims to develop any awareness and use of the convention of educational English amongst those of you from different learning cultures. This study is anchored from Noam Chomsky's theory in 1960s, the LAD conception or the language acquisition device. This theory asserts that human is born with the instinct or innate facility for acquiring language. This theory claims to account that for the fact youngsters acquire language earlier than alternative skills, sometimes mastering most of the fundamentals at the age of 4. Chomsky proposed that every child was born with a lad that holds fundamental rules of language. In other words, children born with an understanding of the rules of language, they simply need to acquire the vocabulary. As he said, knowledge cannot be derived from experience alone. It must be largely innate. It is not inferred from instructive examples, but also by the environment to which the language learner is exposed. This study aims to determine the language of linguistic competence among the first year of College of Teacher Education students of St. Michael College of Caraga. Descriptive research design was used in gathering data and information necessary to accomplish the purpose of this investigation. It involves a collection of data, test the hypothesis of whether to be accepted or rejected by the subject of the learning. In this study, the researchers have analyzed, interpreted, and report the difference of linguistic competence among the first year College of Teacher Education students of St. Michael College of Caraga. The study regulates at St. Michael College of Caraga, formerly known as St. Michael Institute or SMI, that aims competent individuals. The respondents of the study is the first year College of Teacher Education students. College of Teacher Education students has four programs, which is the BE Ed or Bachelor of Elementary Education, the BPE or the Bachelor of Physical Education, the BS Ed or the Bachelor of Secondary Education, and lastly, the BTVTE, which means Bachelor of Technical Vocational teacher education. B.Ed has 1 male and 31 females. BPE has 12 males and 25 females, while the BS Ed has 12 males and 51 females, while the BTVTE has 3 males and 10 females. The study has 145 students. The result shows the student's profile in terms of academic performance. To sum up the gathered data regarding the respondents' academic performance, it is evident that majority of the respondents has an academic performance of 2.1 to 2.5. Therefore, the academic performance of the first year College of Teacher Education students has the category of approaching proficiency. This suggests that as English proficiency increases, so does academic success. Table 2. The, s- the student's profile in terms of family income. To sum up the gathered data regarding the respondents' family income, it is evident that majority of the respondents have a family income of 5,000 to 9,999. Therefore, the family income of the first year College of Teacher Education is enough to support their studies. According to UCF and colleagues 2010, it implies that family income among students could affect their learning process and other school activities and test anxiety. Moreover, family income could affect their learning motivation and also their ability to pay attention and concentration in learning. So this could lead to academic failure or academic success. The student's profile in terms of gender. To sum up the gathered data regarding the respondents' gender, it is evident that majority of the respondents are female. Therefore, female in first year College of Teacher Education students is more of a survivor in the field of teaching than male. According to Martino 2012, found out that teachers who participated in this study agreed that girls enjoy more literature and singing and drama, while boys preferred mathematics, natural and social sciences, or computing studies. At the same time, the analysis of the data collected served to prove that teachers were aware that boys and girls are different, especially as regard girls and boys' performance and interest. The student's profile in terms of intelligent quotient. To sum up the gathered data regarding the respondents' IQ or intelligence quotient, it is evident that majority of the respondents have an intelligence quotient of average. Therefore, there is no problem in the first year College of Teacher Education students in terms of their IQ or intelligence quotient. According to Alcausi and colleagues 2010, suggests that the first year university student should be provided with time management and self-regulated strategies as well as adjustment to university life strategies to help them academically succeed in their programs of study or more more upgrade or more engage in their studies or concentrate. The student's profile in terms of school classification. To sum up the gathered data regarding the respondents' school classification, it is evident that majority of the respondents graduated from a public school. Therefore, most of those who are interested in the field of teaching come from a public school. According to Rabowski 2011, the essential of school choice is from numerous policies which allowing students to be transferred out from the current school to a new school within the neighborhood area. These are various factors in influencing the selection of private or public school. Family backgrounds such as include household income and parents' level of education influences the school choice. and their field of expertise. 6. The, the level of linguistic competence among respondents as to morphology. It has been found out that majority of the respondents belong to the competent user in English. This data implies that the respondents have high linguistic competence in morphology. The high competence of the respondents in morphology implies that they are able to master different parts and internal structure of words or grammar. Table 7. Table 7 shows the level of linguistic competence among the respondent as to vocabulary. It has been found out that majority of the respondents belong to the fair or user in English. This data implies that respondents have low level linguistic competence in vocabulary. It can be referred that they have low ability in using words in a particular language. According to Carr et al., 2012 insisted that in several tutorial approaches concentrate on structural signals and grammatical patterns of the language appear to override the vocabulary and students area unit a lot of typically than not expected to be selected up vocabulary on their own with a very little or no guidance. The level of linguistic competence among the respondents as to syntax. It has been found out that majority of the students belong to competent user in English. This data implies that the respondents have high level linguistic competence in syntax. The high level competence of the respondents in syntax implies that they have high knowledge and ability in the arrangement of words and phrases in creating well formed sentences in language. Linguistic competence in terms of academic performance. It shows the analysis of variance or ANOVA in determining the significant difference among different programs as to their linguistic competence in terms of academic performance. The model statistically demonstrated the significant difference between groups as determined by one-way ANOVA. The ANOVA result indicates that there is a significant difference among different programs as to their linguistic competence in terms of academic performance. Therefore, first year college students of teacher education differentiate in intelligence and personality. Linguistic competence in terms of family income. The model statistically demonstrated the significant difference between groups as determined by one-way ANOVA. It shows that the result is not significant with a p-value of greater than 0.05 which accept the null hypothesis. The ANOVA results indicate that there is no significant difference among different programs as to their linguistic competence in terms of family income. Therefore, first year college students of teacher education can achieve linguistic competence without family income as an hindrance. Linguistic competence in terms of gender. The model statistically demonstrated the significant difference between groups as determined by one-way ANOVA. It shows that the result is as significant with a p-value of less than p0.05, which reject the null hypothesis. The ANOVA result indicates that there is a significant difference among different programs as to their linguistic competence in terms of gender. Therefore, the linguistic competence can be achieved by the first year college students of teacher education without any gender biases. Linguistic competence in terms of intelligent quotient. The model statistically demonstrated the significant difference between groups as determined by one-way ANOVA. It shows that the result is not significant with a p-value of greater than 0.05 which accept the null hypothesis. The ANOVA result indicates that there is no significant difference among different programs as to their linguistic competence in terms of intelligent quotient. Therefore, first year college of teacher education students has its similarities the way they perceive things and ideas. Linguistic competence in school classification. The model statistically demonstrated the significant difference between groups as determined by one-way ANOVA. It shows that the result is not significant with the p-value of greater than 0.05 which accept the null hypothesis. The ANOVA result indicates that there is no significant difference among different programs as to their linguistic competence in terms of school classification. Therefore, the previous school of the first year college students of teacher education is not a reason that can affect their linguistic competence. Model summary. It shows the model summary of regression analysis using all the predictable variables and the linguistic competence of the student as the outcome variable resulted in the model that explain a simple correlation and is 0.196 which indicates a very weak degree of correlation that there is 3.8% of the variation in the linguistic competence. The model statistically demonstrated the significance of the independent variable, which is the grade or academic performance. It shows that the model statistically demonstrated the predictive ability of the independent variables mentioned above with the p-value of 0.05. Variables such as gender, school classification, family income, and IQ are excluded variables with a p-value of greater than 0.05.43. Among the variables, academic performance is the only variable that greatly affects the linguistic competence of the students. The rest of the variables do not affect the linguistic competence of the students. In conclusion, we researchers conclude that the first year College of Teacher Education has a high level of competence since the two variables, morphology and syntax, got a high level of expertise, and only the vocabulary has the got low level of ability. So according to Court and his colleagues, 2011, said that for several years of programs for extensive reading is the foremost prevailing manner for vocabulary enrichments. The thought was the scholar reads the additional vocabulary terms square measure non-heritable from the context. People who scan other books report possessing a richer vocabulary and more extensive text comprehension. In this case, the first year college students of teacher education need some progress in their vocabulary. For the recommendation, teachers should use discussion to engage students and to encourage them to evaluate ideas as well as learning new vocabulary through verbal interaction. By providing that motivates communication instead of classroom discussion, it creates opportunities where students use new vocabulary that helps them to improve. Teachers can start from the themes in the textbook, which may use as the springboard to teach the learners so that the learners will be encouraged to ask further questions and make comparison. So the impact of our study is that the study helps the College of Teacher Education Department's instructor determine the area that the first year college students need to improve. It also helps them to think of activities that could enhance the student's vocabulary. That's all for our presentation. Thank you and God bless.